Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to another edition of AwesomeCallsTrading.com. Boom, 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 boom. What can I say? What can I say about today? My goodness. Oh, 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 oh. I want to give a special shout out to a very special stock and iRobot vacuum. I want to thank this little machine here. Um, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being a great stock today and being a vacuum that you are. Why you're up 130 a share to begin with is beyond me. But I want to say thank you because you know what? Today we cleaned up. Not you. We did the sweeping. Huh? We put you underneath. That's right. We vacuumed you today. And we're going to take your stock down to $100. Okay? That's our goal. And we are going to do that. So I wanted to say thank you to the vacuum. Thank you, iRobot. iRobot was our number one pick today. It really was. It was already down 21 points. But AJ wants 100, and he will not stop till he hits 100. Now, you have to understand with iRobot, okay? On its way to descent downwards, it's gonna shake you out. That's what it does. The market makers knows everyone wants to short the stock. So they want to shake you out. And the only way to shake you out is pop you 50 cents, a buck, 80 cents, $2 on its way down. At no point did I ever say bottom is in. At no point have I ever called bottom is in for the last 6 hours. All right. The stock is going to 100. It's filling a gap right now. The reason why it's filled the gap is because when I spent the morning reading the report, which I wish I could share with you, but in the insights of reading the report, I realized that they basically did not impress investors. And if you look at the previous earnings where their guidance was raised, investors bought into the stock and basically for the last 90 days pushed it all the way up to 130. Well, if iRobot wasn't going to come out with extravagant numbers, that gap was going to come right back down and get filled. And that was what iRobot is doing. Now, I didn't want some sort of a short squeeze at the open, but I told traders don't long the stock unless it hits 110. Once it hits 110, we can pop it and then probably get 4 points to 115, 120 before it fades. But if it doesn't hit and it starts to pull, the stock will fade all day to 100. Now, do you want to see the stock? Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. iRobot, I apologize. I was going over BSX. See iRobot? And here it is. Now, you see how it closed? Now, I wanted it to pop at the open to 110. You see the opening bell here? Ding, 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 ding. I wanted to shove it right here. This was the long in the room, and then we pop it. If it broke the trend, lower lows sat in, it was an all-day fade to 100, which is where you're going. Why? Pull up the last quarter, do a 180 on it, as I teach you. Pull it up. Here's the last earnings. You see the 100 right here? Where it started to move up on the earnings? I want to fill this gap here for today. For today. Today only. Now, it could fill this whole gap over the next few days, but that's not what I'm after. I'm a day trader. If you're an option and put trader in here, you could have bought 100 puts today, and you probably wouldn't have to trade for the rest of the year if you had been in our room. Okay? When you're in our room, I will go through the report. I will read it. I will study it so I can give you the most accurate call. So if you bought, let's say, 20 contracts, 50 contracts, 30 contracts, and you bet $5,000 that IR robot would hit 100, you probably would have made about 100 grand a day. I can ask Darkside and Janny and all the option traders in here, but I think you probably would have made about 100 G's. All right. On the equity side, if you would have just took 50 shares, 100 shares, and just let it sit all day long, okay, then you probably would make $1,000 on 10 points. Either way, you were going to make money. And a stock, now, what do I call that it likes to fake out? The market makers knows everyone's trying to short the stock. And you also got a crap load. I want you to look at something here for the last 90 days. Let's go. Well, we can go 30. I can do 30 here. You see all the shorts in here? These are massive shorts in here. And slowly they're going to cover their positions on its descent to 100. They know the gap's going to get filled. But if they all cover at once, which is kind of what I was hoping they would do at the opening, but they all sense reading the report like I do, like I did, because I've been trading for 16 years, that the stock was going to head to 100. So they just slowly fill their positions on the way down. Let me tell you something. There are some funds out there. If you ever watch Billions, how these people make so much money, there were some funds out there that have a trader on their desk like AJ Trader that will take 500,000 shares, right, and just short the stock and be up, I don't know, 50 million a day, $100 million on the trade, knowing where the stock is going to go and why. iRobot needed to impress. If it didn't impress, the stock was going to come down and fill the gap. And that's what it's doing. Okay? iRobot. That was our number one pick. Our second pick today was BSX. BSX I liked a lot. And the reason why I liked BSX is because I felt very strongly this morning when I read the report. This is investors like BSX. All right. If you've never heard of it, it's Boston Scientific. They like the stock, but the stock has taken kind of a beating over the last, I don't know, 3 months. And it usually levels off around a $34, $35 level. When the report came out, I read it, and I didn't feel like the 2-point pull was enough. I just didn't think it was justified, and I felt investors were going to come in there, short cover, and probably new investors were going to come in and buy the stock up. So the call to me on BSX today was simple. I wanted you to long the stock at 33.50 to 34. All right, and then I just wanted you to take it long and go to 35.50. That's all I wanted you to do. If it went higher, great, but that was the call. All right. So BSX, you came in the morning, you needed a simple trade. Pre-market, you started loading up. Stock ran all the way up to 35.50 in the first. As you can tell, ding, 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 ding. Market open, it hit 35.50. Pre-market, if you would have started buying on my notes, even at 34, you would have made a point and a half. If you stuck with the trade, you made it all the way to 36. I never once said short the stock. I read the report, I analyzed it, and I felt the stock would make a nice pop and move to the upside. Another stock that we did very well was an overnight on NBS into earnings. Now, it didn't go up the quite huge amount I wanted to, but nevertheless, it was a great earnings read. Yesterday before the close, I bought 100 shares, and as you recall, they bought a company, and when they bought that company, the stock has done nothing but just dump. I mean, they were $93, $95 a share, and the stock had come down to 75. That's huge for a stock like this. So the way I interpreted the earnings prior to them coming out was they would probably mention some positive things about their company and what their future of the company they bought out 10 days ago. And I kind of anticipated that. So it was pretty much and it was already been gutted. So to me, it was a very easy trade to call out to long overnight and wake up to money. And that's exactly what I did. I picked it up at $75.96, I believe, into close. Everyone watched me. I executed it, and this morning I sold, and it almost hit $79 a share. It was a well-read stock. I read it right. I was correct, and I played it well. The next stock that I went after this morning was a company called APH. Now, APH, I'm sure a lot of you have never even heard of this stock, and that's okay. You know, this is why you have these webinars, so you can learn about them. APH is Amphenol. Amphenol is a pretty decent company, but as I teach you in my webinars, And when it comes to earnings, it's all about understanding the earnings. You have to read the report. And maybe one day soon, I may just do a webinar on how to read earnings reports. Um, it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's my secret sauce, but it's what identifies me so different from others, how I interpret and read. Um, I'm not quite sure if I want to do something like that because you already know I educate all these other chat rooms so they can stay open. Um, and to give them something like that would probably, I don't know, I'm actually kind of hurting myself. So daily, I try to teach the traders. Before the webinar, I spent 20 minutes with them explaining each of the earnings that why I called a certain way, and that's what I will probably end up doing, because I believe that when you're a member here, you should get all my secret sauce. Every day, you should learn everything I'm doing. Everything should be transparent, right down to the trading. Because the more you learn, because I want you to when you're in here, I want you to be over my shoulder, breathing down my neck. I want you to learn like that. How did you see that? What did you look at? What were you reading? Why did you say that? Why did you do that? Else, how are you going to learn? Like these pathetic dumbass rooms that, you know, seriously. Well, in this room, I'm not going to really talk to you, but pay 150, 160 be over here. But in this room, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more. But then you have to buy this DVD to be in this room so I can teach you, and then you got to pay $400 a month to be in this room. It's like, what the fuck? And and what's so funny is you're only trading four stocks in that room: AMD, Nvidia, Apple, and Amazon. Woo! Wow! And SPY. Okay, you're not. No, for $6.75 I want a day. I want you to learn as much as possible. I want you to learn how to read the reports, interpret the reports, and put them and make money off them. And that's what I do every day. APH to me was a great long. It wasn't a short. Now, did they miss? Yes. They cut their guidance a little bit, and they missed. However, after reading the report, I made the decision that the stock would have a nice run in it today, and it would run. Now, after I read the report, the stock was sitting in pre-market right here. You could see the gap down already. I told day traders in the room that were in the room, lucky enough when I started typing, you could see the timeline, it was right here. I said I would short the stock and watch for the pull that opened in 95. When it hits 95, I want you to go long and take it to 102. That was the call. I want you to see how quickly you could have made just a shit ton of money with 250 shares. Okay? Are you ready? 250 shares. Imagine 250 shares with less than $20,000 buying power. How much money you could have made today on this call alone? I told you an entry and I told you an exit. Now you ready? Now read the report. Read my analyst report that I put together every night. Here it is. APH. If you would have bought 1,000 shares, you would have made 6,000 today. If you would have bought 10,000 shares, you would have made $50,000 today. Right? APH. Slight earnings miss. I'm a buyer at $95. The stock will pop to 102. Entry, exit, and the Y. Entry, exit, and the Y. Now we go to the trade, the actual trade, before it even happened. You ready? Ding, 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 ding. 95 entry. There's your 95 entry. Said it would go to 102. It took 20 minutes and it hit 102. If you had taken 2,000 shares, you made what? 6 points, 7, 8 points, $16,000 on 2,000 shares. 1,000 shares, 8,000. Yeah, 5,000 shares. What shit you would have made? Oh my gosh, just a fortune. Anyway, that's the stock. Pretty cool, huh? The next one that I did was a stock called Domino's Pizza. I know we all see the commercials, and a lot of you don't even know they actually have a stock, but they do. Now, Domino's Pizza, this was interesting because not so long ago, Morgan Stanley issued a buy price target of 270 on the stock. They anticipated last week that earnings were going to be good this week. They already kind of dove into it. And they kind of knew, which is what I was trying to teach you in my last webinars, to be wary of these analysts that are upgrading the stocks 1 week to 2 weeks before they actually come. Domino's Pizza was one of them. Now, Domino's Pizza turned out they had a really nice quarter. Okay. So what I was looking at was, now what you don't understand about Domino's Pizza is the stock likes to squeeze because it's a thin stock. The float is small. So any kind of great earnings report and decent volume, the stock will fly, and you have to anticipate that. So I had a long out of the gate. That's what I told everyone in the room. I'd be long and look for the stock to hit $292 or more. And then we can look to top it off and short it. Well, if you were in the room, you literally watched us live take it from 287, 286 to almost $300 a share. When it hit 300, I felt it was too much, too fast, and the stock would come down. And what was interesting about the stock is there were a few traders that actually kind of got in a little too early on the short. And so with the guidance in the room, and the dark side was on the mod as well. He was on the speakers as well. You could have just basically, even if you got in soon, you could have added, as long as you scaled in properly, you could add a decent average and just waited. To me, the stock should sit around 285 to 280, and I think that's where it should trade. So right now we're kind of descending its way down there. The key was to get the nice short position and get going. And what I loved about when Darkside had the mic, when I was on break, he was really emphasizing to start loading. Right here, I heard him about a dozen times, and I shit you not, I heard him about 10 times in the room. Keep telling people, I'd be loading here. I'd be low. It's gonna break. He's a very technical analysis trader. All right, he's very good at what he does. He's got a great class coming up on, I think, on the 30th. And if you have $349, I'd be clicking and getting in that room. Let me tell you something. It's going to be a gift. But what he did is he kept saying, "All right." Now, for me, I was going to take this stock down no matter what. I see it just the way he sees it without all of his technical analysis. But right here, from the traders that were trading in the room on a technical standpoint, he kept saying, "This is what it's going to do. It's going to pop here and add." He kept saying, "Add to your short, add to your short, add to your short. This is where you add, and when it breaks, that's when you get paid." And he did it. He did exactly what he said he would do. You see, when you apply technical analysis to a chart like this, you can make so much money. Yeah, did I call a 300 and then a short to 285, 290? Yeah, sure. But when you adapt your technical analysis to the move, and you can read it the way he read it, you can actually do more size and more confidence. Imagine taking 300 shares with 65,000 buying power, or yeah, 30 times 90,000 buying power, right? And being able to get 5 points on that. That's $1,500 based on a comment of this is going to come down more. If you took 100 shares with 30,000 buying power, it's still $400 in your pocket. But the short to me was at the 300 mark. That was it. I got just under 301 when I took the short, and I got out early. I got out right here. This was me. I covered. It's okay. It's okay. I was so fast on it. My hands were sweating because I didn't want it to squeeze on me another 4 more points, and I was playing with 100 shares at a time. It's just what I do. It all adds up. That was a fun trade. I was really happy I got to trade that. The next stock that we did was a company called Hog. All right. Now Hog got a downgrade from Goldman Sachs today, and so I wanted to take the stock down, and it was gapping down. Now, if you know about Goldman, you have to wait for a little bit of a pop at the open. You can't short at the open. You have to wait, especially if it's gapping down. And it closed yesterday at 38.90, and it was gapping down all the way down to 38. So that's 90 cents, almost a dollar. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to go long the stock and pop it at the open. And I wanted to fill this gap here at 38.45, 38.50. And I wanted you to scale in short and then just ride the stock down under 37. It was a really safe trade. It was fun. A lot of traders did really good on it. Mr. Hudson did very well on it. He did a tweet on it, and that was the call on it. And it was just through the research right here of my scans. There's hog right there. It's a sell rating, hog, and then they give you an explanation why, just like I explain each detail, and $34 price target. So I knew the stock was going to come down below 37. Okay. And if you read their write up, the analyst really does not like the stock at all. I mean, he just like really adamant to tank the stock today. So I took advantage of it and I made it clear everyone in the room. Pre-market notes um, were right here. And I said hog would um, Goldman Sachs. I'd like to see if it pulled at the open to 37. Great, go long because it will gap fill back up. But if it popped at the open, all you had to do is sit and wait. And I was looking for 38.50, and it closed at 38.92. So I was trying to do a halfway between. It ended up going to 38.30. So I missed it by about 20 cents. But overall, I knew it was going to come down to 37. You see how I read the stock? So basically, I gave the trader a setup. If it pops, just wait to start getting in there. And a lot of traders will get in there when it starts going through 38, 38.30. And I tell them, okay, we'll have room to 38.90 for your average. Some traders refuse to do that. No, I want to be perfect. You can't. That's what scaling is about. That's what you're learning. If you scale in and you like to play with 300 shares, do 150. If it pops some more, great. If it breaks the lower lows and starts to flag downwards and breaks the flag, go add to your short position if you want. All right. But I wanted to fill this area first and then set it up for a short. And here's the short. Straight down butter. 36.83. 1,000 shares, you make over $1,400 on the trade today. Okay. And we'll do one more. Cap it off. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got to do one more. What do we want to do? I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you Striker. AJ, I just weighed $452 in IRBT. I want you to tweet that. Okay, NBG trader, congratulations around the room. NBPNG trader. Here, let me put that in the room so you can all see. Made $452. How many shares did you play with? You know, since we're live on the webinar. Just kind of curious. You trade with 75 shares, 100 shares, 50 shares. So anyway, congratulations to you. $452 today on that stock. Okay. And Striker. Okay, now Striker this morning, again, on a trade like this, traders that are watching this, it's to be able to call this out, it's all in the report. You have to be able to read the report to understand why a stock is going to pop or short squeeze. You can't just go around, oh, this should pop because it gapped down. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to read the report. Stryker had missed slightly. They didn't miss big, just slightly. So I felt shorts were going to cover at the open. If they had missed big, I would have told everyone short the stock pre-market and take it down to 160. There would have been no question. But that's not what the report said. The report said to me, this is actually going to pop and grind. So I want everyone to go long in pre-market. And that's exactly what I said, long in pre-market, which is right here at 182 and under. I said the stock would probably pop to 185 or more at the open and then sell off because the report told me to. So at the very least, you would have made 3 points on the trade. I was guaranteeing you 3 points on a pop out of the gate. You don't believe me? Look how I wrote it up. Striker. Striker. Slight miss. You see how I let the traders know in the room? It's a slight miss. It's not a big miss. It's a slight. Therefore, the stock is a long. Therefore, you're going to pop it to 185 at the open or more. If it pulls to 178, add to it. Don't get scared. But the stock will go to 185 and long on it. Long it. Long the stock. Okay? Ding, 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 ding. You did exactly what I said. Bought at 182. Guess what? Within 4 minutes and 32 seconds, you made your 3 points. You actually got 4 points. If you waited another 3 more minutes, you actually got 188. You made 7 points, 6 points, 7 points on this trade in less than 11 minutes by understanding how to read the report. And this is what I'm trying to teach traders every day. I want you to be so good. I want every trader to be a professional trader. I want every trader to learn the insights and why stocks going to move. Because once you see this stuff and you watch it materialize and you read why, guess what? You'll trade 200 shares, pop 6 points, make 1,200. You'll buy 100 shares, make 4 points, make 400, go to another trade. You'll short IRBT on the side. Before you know it, you're making $800, $1,000 a day because you know where the stocks are going to go. And if you have a large account, how can you not make $2,500 a day? Just pick the stock, pick the idea. And for the next 2 months, 3 months, this is all we're going to be doing. Earnings, analyst upgrades, calls, IPOs, bios, you name it. I don't even want to show you what I did on SAP today. Said it would pop at the open to 128. It hit 130 right out of the gate. And then it was a short. And it was crazy. And RBZ, everybody knows I hate Roth, but I told everybody take the stock long at 565, should hit 6. So even though it's a crap stock, it still will probably give you 45 cents. So I gave you a little small capper here, RBZ, and it hit 615. I think a lot of people were paying this MPT or something like that today in the room. I think B Trades, MTP. Yeah, B Trades was calling this out. This is a chat room pump. Everybody's trying to play it at the same time. B Trade called it on the breakout around 290, and it ran to 386, and he called the points to 375 on it. I remember this morning. So a lot of traders played at that at $3. So well done. I might do a chart for that. MTP, and I believe Florin, one of our traders, called it out in pre-market as well. So anyway, hey, it was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed today's webinar. I hope you learned. Again, I will present to you tomorrow 12 ideas. This is kind of like my pre-market analyst report. Just like you see an analyst report here. See this? That's written out from all these analysts. Well, I'm an analyst, and these are my predictions for today, how to trade them, what to look for, entries, exits, what the stock's going to do, and most importantly, the why. The more you understand the trade, the more you learn, the more you earn. All right? Thank you for joining us. Click here. I'll see you tomorrow. And I love and respect. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.